What's up, guys, and welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. K. Ray Knight, here to give you proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comics and comic book characters. We are in issue 2 for the Hexiles. What I'm going to say is I really like when comic books don't have story restrictions, because you get like these crazy raw stories that are really enjoyable, and they're not restricted by the fact that they're going to be teaming up with somebody in another part of the universe, and that their stories have to coincide and everything starts to get weird. Kind of like when DC had their own like channel where they had first premiered Doom Patrol and Swamp Thing and Titans and all that, and there was just everything essentially was like fucking rated R. I love when comic books are also like that. So I also just wanted to point out that this comic book right now, one of my favorites, along with Kill All Immortals and How Patra was and things like that. So this, I'm really liking this. So in the first issue, if you guys remember, this group of kids all have the same father. He made deals with all kinds of demons. He had power and influences in hell and no money. Listen, come on, backwards. Anyway, he died. They all went to his funeral. They all met at his funeral. They all ended up getting attacked by Creepy Thin Man and his demon horde. They all ran, and one of the brothers who had control of fire, whose name escapes me, they killed him. So this is supposed to be them sending a message to the siblings. So we start with Romy, who looks to be some sort of seamstress, and she's up in her room minding her business when a package just dropped off at her house. Her mother, on the other hand, looks like a fucking drunk and is downstairs sobbing and like wallowing in self-pity because she's like, oh my god, how could I just not tell you about, like, you know, what was I supposed to say about your father? That girl ain't paying you no attention about that man. She probably said something when she first got back home, but she ain't saying nothing to you now. And you sitting down there drinking. Sad. For what? So she takes the box up to her room. Next we have Argyle, who quite literally looks like he's in a fucking trap house, chilling on the floor. He's also minding his own goddamn business when the people who also live there are like, you cannot get packages here. Like, why would you send a package here? And he is very obviously confused because it's very clear he did not send a package there or request a package to be delivered there. And so he's like, you know, what are you talking about? And they're like, you have a fucking package, bro. And it has his name on it. So he's like, okay, well, I'll make sure that never happens again. I don't know what the fuck. After that, I believe we have Madison, who is quite literally just slitting her wrist in the bathroom. While she's doing that, she gets a knock at the door, and there's a package for her. Next, we have Luna, who kind of lives like on this farm. I'm not going to say like Amish or anything like that, but probably hippie. And they're, you know, like, blessings to you. So they seem like really nice people. She gets a package and she's very distracted and she like barely says hello to them. After that is Britain, who just got done sleeping with some guy, and she's like, hey, yo, cool, last night was great, or whatever the fuck. Bye, get out. She's like, I'm about to make me some breakfast, get out. And then lastly is Dominic. Now, the situation with Dominic is a little bit complicated. Dominic has the power to basically shapeshift himself as well as other things. I believe just kind of what the, you know, showing of power from the first issue. And he is being paid to present the illusion. So he's an illusionist. He's being paid to present an illusion of a little girl to these two parents. And they're just like, you're not supposed to be getting any packages or any pieces of mail going to your old name. And he's just like, he's in the form of a girl named Sarah, and she's just like, I don't understand what you mean. And so they give the package and it has Dominic on it. So she's just like, you know, I'll make sure that it doesn't happen again. I don't know what this is, but okay. And she takes it upstairs. Now, all of them open their packages at the same time, and they realize that they have pieces of their brother. Now, Dominic, who has transformed back into himself to open that package as Dominic, starts freaking out like immediately, and the parents come upstairs, and he's like, "Oh my god, the box, it's like, this shit is fucking weird." And he opens the door, and there are two demons standing at the door, and they attack him, form into one demon, and they're basically like, "You need to join us. You're not Sarah, you're not Dominic, you need to like join us and, you know, use your power to be with us." And essentially all of them are experiencing the exact same thing. These demons are taking over people in proximity to them and attacking them, basically saying that they're going to keep coming after them until they join with them the way that their father intended, because that was the deal that was made. I wouldn't be doing that either, because I have no idea what you're talking about. I just got here. I just walked on scene. So what do you mean? I've never met this man before in my life. You know what I'm saying? So all of them end up getting attacked by all of them except for Madison and Britain are attacked by demons in close proximity to them. Madison, hers is the heart, and it starts to attack her, but she jumps out of whatever story window onto a car, dies, brings herself back to life, and walks away while people are watching and filming. And then Britain never, like, after she kicks the guy out, he's like, "Hey, can you let me back in? I think I left my phone in your bedroom." And her pet demon, like, not her slave demon, is like, "You do know that that's not like your nameless boyfriend." She's like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I know the stench of my brethren." That's a demon outside. And she's like, "Okay, so what if you're wrong?" He's like, "I'm never wrong." So he breaks through the door and attacks the nameless boyfriend outside, and it turns out that he was a demon, and he was in the middle of transformation when her demon pet killed him. So she's like, "So you can smell demon blood, right?" And he's like, "Of course." She's like, "Including my brothers and sisters?" "Yes." She's like, "Good. Go find them. If they're alive, bring them together." I absolutely loved this. The artwork is very unique, and the story is getting intense because in the first issue, Creepy Thin Man was definitely trying to tell them that their father was like this super powerful and influential person in hell, and had kids through these demonic rituals and gave them powers, but also basically promised their life to hell, essentially. And they were like, "Y'all need to pay up." However, we don't know anything about that. We didn't even know this man. It seems like Romy's mother, though, was more familiar with it than the others. Hers seemed a bit more she seemed a bit more upset about the situation, because she's like, "How was I going to tell you that? What could I have said to you to forgive me?" And then she goes into her demonic, calling her like a little bitch, attacking her, and saying that she's never done anything right in her like whole miserable life. So it was like hers felt a little bit more personal. One thing I can say about this is that kind of like I like the writing for each of the characters. So you have Dominic and Romy, who seem to be the more passive ones. It seems like they're the ones who avoid the conflict the most, but I think their powers are pretty like fairly unique. I think Romy is the one who messes with emotions and makes you feel like this like hatred for yourself. I think that's the one that she has. And then Dominic with the illusions. So it seems like they're two of the more powerful of the six, now down to 5 or 7, now down to 6, whatever. And then you have Luna, who seems to be the absolute sweetest girl, and she is considered the Deathbringer. Like, her power is incredible. Like, she killed them things almost immediately. And then you have Madison and Britain, who seem to be more apathetic of the group. and one being in control of a demon that can do, like, that can and will do her bidding at that point, and then Madison, who cannot die. So it's like, what are you guys going to try to do here? Because you killed the one, are you going to be able to kill her? And I think that was kind of like interesting, how she didn't have a demon attack her, but it was just like the heart of her brother. I thought that was interesting. And then you have Argyle, who turns into a fucking demon. So it's just like blood of my blood type thing. And I don't think Creepy Thin Man is counting on the fact that they're going to get together, because, I mean, obviously they fought together at the funeral because you were trying to kill them there, but now you're trying to kill them in separate places, and they ended up being separated, or separating themselves after the funeral, which was how you were able to kill the first sibling. But I don't think you're going to be as easily able to kill the rest of them once they get together. I don't think that that's happening. And to be perfectly honest, I want to say that he was probably the weaker of them all, and that's why they went for him first. Yeah, I want to say that. I'm liking this story. I really am. I think it's a really, really unique story. I have quite literally just been racking my brain for things that are similar to it, and I have yet to think of anything comic book wise. So I'm really excited to see where this story goes. And it's not a product of lazy writing. I like that. I do, because you can get into the lazy writing going into the second issue, and it did not do that. It very much was like, hey, let's pump it out. So I very much did enjoy this. Again, I love the artwork. I think the artwork is different and it's fun to look at. There's another comic book that kind of looks like this, I think, that comes from the same people. I'm going to end up reading that because I think it was finished. I think it did finish, so I'm going to end up reading that. I'm very interested in this universe here. I think it's just because I like violence. But that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office. If you have not gotten my book, please do so. I think you would truly, truly enjoy it. And I will see you guys at your next checkup.